myself together. You guys, I had a dream, and in the dream, um, I seen the people dressed in the UN symbol. Okay, I'm gonna explain my dream. Hold on, let me turn this chair around. Okay, so what we have going on is definitely a holy war. Okay, now when you guys get a chance today, I want you to look up organizations in the world with a current membership of 193 member states and two permanent non-member states. So there's two states, which there's more than two states that are not a part of the UN. Okay, which countries do not belong in the UN? Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my dream. Kosovo, South Ossetia, Nangorno, Moldavian Republic, New Russia, the Turkish Republic, Saudi Arabic, Taiwan, other Republic of China. But that's not true because China is. What I found very interesting, and I will go to my dream in a minute, is that yes, there are two permanent non-members, okay? The two permanent non-members are the Holy City, the Vatican City, and Palestine, okay? And right now in Palestine, they're fighting in Palestine, right? What I found interesting too was also the Polynesian Hawaiians, okay? The Hawaiian people are not a part of the UN, the Polynesians. And I asked myself, why hasn't the Pope said anything about what is going on, the crisis in Palestine and Israel? The reason why he hasn't said anything is because they all knew this was going to happen, you guys, okay? Which countries have not joined the UN? You guys can look this up yourself when you get time. But it was interesting that we found Polynesians, which are the Hawaiians, right? And Palestine, okay, where they're over there fighting right now. The people from Israel are fighting the Palestinians, okay? So this makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm gonna get to my dream in a minute. And then it shows all the countries that are, can any country be a part of the UN? It is open to all peace-loving states that accept the obligations contained in the United Nations chapter, and in its judgment of the organizations are able to carry out these obligations. Okay, I don't know much about the UN, you guys, but I know that two places that were not a part of the United Nations, which is Palestine and Hawaii, the Polynesian people, both of these places were targeted and they were attacked, not just for their land, because these people are not a part of the United Nations, okay? And this is why they're targeting them, okay? And they're not recognized by the United Nations, okay? Now, also the Holy City, the Vatican City, but I don't see them, the Vatican City being targeted. It's the Palestinians and the Polynesians, okay? And they're being attacked for two reasons, because they're not a part of the United Nations, okay? And I'm going to get into my dream in a minute. Let me go back. So what does the UN mean, okay? United Nations meaning. It means contraction, and it means United Nations. Hold on. And then I'll get into my dream. The United Nations is an international organization found in 1945, currently made up of 193 members, the member states. The United Nations, it works are to guide by the purpose and principles contained in its founding chapter. The United Nations have evolved over the years to keep peace with rapid changing world. What does the U and the N stand for? United Nations. It's an economic corporation. Intergovernment organization whose stated purpose are to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly, rational among nations, achieve international cooperation, and serve as a center for harmonizing the actions of the nation. And then I'm going to get into my dream in a minute. So I find it interesting that the Polynesian people and Palestine, if you guys, none of you guys knew this, they are not a part of the United Nations. Okay? And we've seen what happened over there in Hawaii. Okay? Now we're seeing what's happening in Palestine. Okay? They are not part of the United Nations. You guys can look this up yourself. Okay? So let me get into my dream. I was taking a nap and I was playing this guy. Okay, I'm gonna do a video on him. And when I was playing his video, I could actually, I wasn't in a deep sleep. I could hear him speaking. Okay, sometimes I will play something and I will hear them play like music or listen to somebody, and I will go to sleep. Or I'll fall asleep listening to him. So I was listening to him and I fell asleep. So it stayed on. And while I was listening to him, I will do a video on him. You guys must see his videos, okay? He was a ex warlock. He was born into witchcraft, okay? And he gives his testimony how he becomes a Christian. It's so profound. And a lot of things he talks about in the spiritual realm is very true, okay? I have not heard anybody speak the truth in the ways that he speaks as far as the spiritual realm, okay? And he became a Christian. He was at an early age born into witchcraft and became a how can I say this, one of the biggest warlocks that ever lived, okay? And his story is so profound, and I will share that video because you must listen to him. It is so profound, because when I heard him, it was like, wow, he's speaking the truth, and he may sound crazy to people that don't understand the spiritual realm itself. He needs to write a book, okay? Because it's like it will tell you so much information that you couldn't even believe what is going on in the spiritual realm, okay? But let me get into the United Nations. So the dream I had, okay, now I seen people in uniform and I didn't know what I was actually seeing. And I was sleeping, like laying down like I was on my bed, but I wasn't in my bed. I was like on, it looked like cots, okay, cots, like it was a little bit soft but hard at the bottom. It was bizarre. And I remember I woke up and there was all these people around me in a UN uniform, okay? United Nations uniform. And I was looking around, I was looking for my children and my family, okay? And I seen them on the cots too. And I'm like, why are we on the cots? And we were told that we were not supposed to leave the facility that we were in. And I looked around and there was so many people, you guys, on cots, okay? And we were like all sheltered in one place, okay? But none of us could leave this place, okay? Now the building was like a big building. And and everybody was in cots, and there was people in United Nations uniform, and we could not leave. So my thing is, when in this dream, and I'm like trying to get my kids together, and I'm hugging them and holding them, and I'm like kind of scared, because when I woke up, I was like in this fearful energy, okay, because I couldn't leave the building, okay. So I remember I was just like, let us leave, let us leave, let us leave, because I was trying to get out of there, because I seen all these families, all these people, and they were all confused. It was a spirit of confusion and chaos, okay? And all I wanted to do was leave, okay? Leave with my children to a safe place, because I did not feel safe. And these people was supposed to make us feel safe, but I did not feel safe. And they all had on blue with the UN logo, okay? Now, it's interesting because when we see the United Nations logo, we think of protection, help, okay? But this scenario in my dream was not protection and was not help, okay? It was actually scary, okay? Because I felt like we were detained, okay? We could not leave. So I woke up and I was just like shocked, okay? Um, and then I had to look up the UN, because I didn't know nothing about the UN, you guys, okay? All I know is like they're the United Nations, and at first I was like, what logo am I even seeing? Okay, it looked like a map. Okay, if you look at the United Nations, it looks like a damn map. Hold on. And then it looks like inside the map is like the circle, but it looks like a bullseye, okay, in the circle. That's what I was seeing. So me and my kids couldn't get out of this shelter. It kind of looked like a shelter in place, but it wasn't a shelter in place. It was like we were being detained, okay? We couldn't have free movement, okay? And I remember just grabbing my kids and it's like, we have to get out of here, okay? And nobody can leave, and there was all a bunch of people on cots, okay? So like this could be past, present, or future. Well, not past, but present and future, okay? It's kind of scary because normally when you think of the United Nations, you think of they have a statement on here about no poverty, zero hunger. What else? Good, something good, me, something, and while eating. Like they have all this positive stuff, but is it really positive? Okay. Let me go back to the UN. Where's the UN located? You guys, I have no idea about the UN. I don't know nothing about the UN. Okay, the headquarters of the United Nations, and this video is for, it's not real. Okay, just saying. But the United Nations UN is headquartered in the Midtown Manhattan neighborhood of New York State, in Guinevere. So New York and Guinevere is the headquarters for the UN. In Guinevere, where's Guinevere at? Is Guinevere in Switzerland? No, Genevieve. I'm sorry. Genevieve. Guinevere? I don't know why. Guinevere. Where's Guinevere located, you guys? I have no idea. Okay, so somebody comment below. I don't know, but it's in New York and Guinevere. But I just find it really interesting. Hold on, the UN has 4 headquarters. They have one in Europe. Okay. The headquarters are in Guinevere, Nairobi, Africa, Vienna, and the Hague. Okay, that's the court justice headquarters. for the United Nations. So what are the 15 agencies of the UN? UNICEF, UNHCR, WFP, UNDP, UNFPA, UNODC, UN Women, ILO, UNESCO, WHO, and the World Bank, and it works closely with the World Bank. Okay. What's their specialize in? Food and agriculture, organizations of the United Nations, Energy Agency, International Criminal Court, International Fund for Agriculture, International Atomic. I don't know what that's for, you guys. So Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, International Atomic Energy Agency, International Criminal Court, International Fund for Agriculture Development, International Labor Organization, International Monetary Fund, International Organization for Migration. Oh my God, there's so many of them. International Seabed Authority, International Telecommunication Union, International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, Preparation Commission for the Nuclear Test Ban, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, United Nations Industry Development Organization, the World Bank, World Health Organization, World Intellectual Property Organization, World Meteorology Organization. Okay, so there's a lot on the UN. You guys can Google this yourself. I did not like the dream. I still don't like it, and I still can't shake it. 1717. Okay. The oldest United Nations agency is the International Telecommunication Union. That is the oldest international agency for the UN. Abbreviations are ITU, founded in 1865. Okay. But I do find it very interesting that Palestine and the Polynesian people, the Hawaiian people. So I'm going to look this up. Is Hawaii part of the UN? So hold on for a second, okay? Because it says Polynesians. Okay, Hawaiians are Polynesian people. Okay. What are the 5 bodies of the UN? General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, Trusteeship Council, International Court of Justice, and Sacred. Now it also says what are the 7 main organs of the United Nations. That was just the same thing. So I don't know why they would word that way. And then I will put all the symbols up. But the one symbol that I seen was the world, okay, because I kept seeing the world on their uniforms, and I didn't know actually what I was really seeing at first, okay. And it's interesting because the UN is supposed to protect and serve people, right? Let me see if Hawaii, because this is interesting. We haven't heard nothing from Vatican, from the Pope, okay, on what is going on with Israel and Palestine. Now, is he not speaking because he doesn't want to make certain people mad? He don't want to make the Israel people mad, or he don't want to make the Palestinians mad. So he's not really saying nothing, which he should speak up and say something about this. And maybe he has said something about this. Maybe I just don't know. Okay. So let me look up, is Hawaii part of the UN? Okay. Because this will all make sense what's really going on. And I really truly believe this is holy war. And I feel like every knee shall bow. Okay. What I mean by that is people that are involved in this genocide, okay, are not going to win. Okay, it may look like they're winning now, but they're not going to win. Okay, 2012, and I'm seeing 2021. So are the Hawaiians a part of the UN? Hawaii is part of the United Nations, but not as an independent member. So they're not. So this is interesting. Okay, Hawaii is part of the United Nations, but not as an independent member. The United States of America is a founding member of the United Nations and holds a permanent seat on the UN's Security Council. So Hawaii is part of the UN as part of the United States, because the reason why is because they are American United States territory. Okay, but if you read it, it says the Polynesians are not. Okay, so they don't have an independent member that represents Hawaii itself. You know how they sit in that circle and they sit at the table and they speak? So they don't have somebody speaking for that I know of. Maybe they do. I don't know. Okay, so let's look up, is Palestine? This is interesting. So they are part of the UN because they're United States territory. But would they have been a part of the UN? I don't think so, you guys. Okay, Palestine, a part of the UN. Now it's also showing me NATO, so we need to look up NATO too. The state of Palestine has been accepted as an observer state of the United Nations General Assembly. So they also are non-member observer states. Set the new status quo Palestine that the Holy See. So Palestine is also the same thing. Okay, they're a non-member observer state, so they don't have a member that is representing them. Just like well, they have a guy there that's speaking. Okay, but they're also called non-members. So remember that, non-members, okay, of a observatory state. So I don't know what none of this means, okay? Can Palestine join NATO? Does the UN accept Palestine? The state of Palestine has been accepted as an observer state of the United Nations General Assembly of November 2021. And they have been recognized, the state of Palestine. But it's interesting that when you Google it, that Palestine, it says they are not a member of the UN. Okay, so I don't know what this all means, you guys. Okay, all I know is my dream. That's it. Okay, and this is definitely spiritual. This is definitely a holy. Okay, holy war, and we can look up the word holy. Okay, and there's definitely holy sites dedicated or consecrated to God or a religious purpose, sacred. So I'm just going to say sacred, okay? Because I don't want to use the word religious. It's sacred, okay? The Hebrew word for holy literally means separate or set apart, okay? So what is happening right now is separate and set apart for a reason. This is helpful for us because it means at least it's part that we were in, okay? And then there's a scripture, it's Psalms 99:9, okay? Separate or set apart. So the word holy means separate and set apart, okay? So these people are set apart, okay? I don't like the word religious. I don't want to use the word religious because people just throw that word out there all the time, okay? I don't believe religion has nothing to do Well, I do in some ways. What's going on is because the Christians are being targeted. If you think about it, because the way it's everything that's happening now, right? Is a group of people that are being targeted more because of their beliefs and who they are. Okay, so my thing is, you guys, this could be anybody. Okay, you don't have to have beliefs. Okay, um, the Hawaiian people were in a part of the United States territory, and they were targeted. Okay, that laser beam that came down is the same thing that happened over there in Palestine. Okay, that thing came down and went just started that fire. If you see the first video of that fire starting, and I'm gonna say once again, this video is for entertainment purposes, okay? And don't believe me if you don't want to believe me, okay? Use discernment. I always say use discernment, okay? Um, but if you see both of the fires that occurred, they both look like they started in one area. And normally fires are not contained like that, okay? I'm not a firefighter, so what I see is it it happened for a reason, okay? The reason is for them to enter, to have access, to be set apart. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. These two places were set apart. So my question is, who's next? Okay, because I don't see Vatican City being somebody shooting whatever those things are on Vatican City. Vatican City, I don't see that. Okay, so and it's interesting because the Pope, he talks about everything else. Okay, and he's a religious person, and a lot of people follow this religious person, the Pope, but they're setting places apart to be targeted. Okay, even though Palestine went in and started this, but what has been going on way before this even happened? These people have been protesting every Friday. I forget what they call that Friday. They call it something Friday, where they go and they protest and they throw sticks over that fence to Israel. Okay, that's every Friday. These people have been doing this for so many years. Okay, because they want to be treated equal. But like I told you guys, this is something energetically. Okay, so we have to be mindful of how we um, take in this energy. Okay, and we're supposed to feel. Okay, but people are being separated and set apart. Okay, truly being separate and set apart. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that. The dream I had, it was bizarre, you guys. I took a short nap and I'm like, what the hell am I seeing here? Okay, what I was seeing was the United Nations. Okay, that's what I was freaking seeing. So the United Nations, it shows the world map, and it shows, like, it looks like, you know how you go like an archery and you shoot the archery and hits the bullseye. Okay, that's what it looks like basically to me. um so I haven't seen the Vatican speak on this. Maybe he did speak on this. And it's interesting about the tunnels. The tunnels are everywhere, you guys. I remember I did a video on the Vatican City. um I forget, and I kept seeing those ugly looking these ugly looking faces. Okay, and I kept seeing the tunnels. And I've never been to Vatican City. Okay, by the way, I never even knew they had tunnels until I started pulling the energy. Okay, and I didn't like the energy that I was pulling. And I had a friend that actually been to Vatican City, and I said to him, I said, "Oh my gosh," I said, "I keep seeing tunnels," and he was like, "I've been in those tunnels." I'm like, "Oh shit, I've never been there." Okay, how do I know this? Okay, so there's tunnels everywhere, and these people are in tunnels. There's tunnels all over the world. Okay, in every country, in every city. Okay, bayou, there's tunnels. Okay, we've seen it in Hawaii, we've seen it in Palestine. Okay, they didn't talk much about it until later on they start talking about the tunnels. Okay, because everybody's talking about the tunnels, so they wanted to say, okay, there's tunnels. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that. The dream was very, very bizarre, you guys. Okay, so I don't know, but I found it. I don't know. Like, I kept saying to myself, like, why? Okay. I don't have the answer why. Okay. I'm not Yeshua, Yeshua. I'm not God. Okay. But I feel like these places are being set apart. And I feel like, who is next? Okay. And in the dream, they were wearing blue. So does the UN guys wear blue? I don't know. Okay. If they came, and I said this before, I said, if FEMA comes to my door and say, you need to come with me, I don't think I'm going. I'm just saying. It's not that I don't think, I know I'm not going. Okay. And I know I'm not going if the UN comes knocking on my door. I told you guys a story about the Red Cross. Okay. We had a hurricane here, and I think it was Katrina, and I was not prepared at all. And you couldn't even go to any stores. The stores were like literally like, and I'm not trying to put fear in anybody, but you couldn't go to no stores. Like there was one store open and there was barely anything in the store. But the person that owned the store must have lived close by, because obviously I don't know how he got the store open. Okay. But I remember walking, and it was like so much water that I was walking in just to get some extra food, because we were we had food, but we didn't have enough food. Okay. And I want to make sure that we were okay. And I remember calling the Red Cross, you guys. It's the first time I ever called the Red Cross. And I'm laughing about it now, but it's not funny when you're in that situation. So, and they never came. And I don't even think they ever called me back. Okay. So, that experience was a learning experience, but I had to go through that. So I know like what to be prepared for. Like, seriously, I just told my daughter, I was like, my oldest daughter, I was like, shoot, I need to stock up some more because you never know. Okay. And I wanted to do canning videos. All this stuff will happen eventually, you guys. I will get to the canning and stuff. But I do reads all day long. Okay. I don't even have time to can like I want to can. Okay. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this dream, because this dream was very bizarre. And I did say about the guy Muhammad. Let me find Muhammad. Mohammed bin Salam. I feel like this guy is interesting because for a long time I thought a lot of other people were the Antichrist for a very long time. And we are so focused on who is the Antichrist. But what if the Antichrist is not just a particular person, like we think it's like this man or this woman? Because I really thought too, like the next president, I really believe is going to be a woman. But what if the Antichrist was not a specific person, but a organization, okay, or a form of government, okay? What if we got it all wrong? Okay. For a long time, I thought it was Obama. I thought it was Trump, Putin, even Michelle Obama. Okay. I thought it was a lot of people for a very long time. And I think I'm forgetting somebody here, but I put their names up. Even Mohammed bin Salam. Okay. They call him MBS. And for a long time, I thought it was a woman too. And the only woman I thought of was Michelle Obama. But what if we got it all wrong? Okay. Because we can be wrong. That's why we have to have these conversations. And what's happening now is a lot of people are being set apart or separated, okay, for certain reasons. It's not just the land grabs. It's more deeper than just the land grabs, okay? They have to be set apart, because once you set apart or divide, you can conquer, okay? So you have to set people apart, okay? It's a game. It's a game. And it's sad that we are the ones that are stuck in this bizarre game, and we're watching it and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Excuse my language. Okay. Because like I said in my earlier video, all they have to do is make one phone call and say, stop this. Okay. But they don't want to. And we all know why. Okay. So the word holy, we just learned something, means to separate or set apart. So they have to set apart people, places, and things. Remember. Okay. That's literally what it means. It means separate or set apart. Hold on. Yeah, basically that's all it means. So a lot of places have to be set apart, people, places, and things. Okay. Also, holy means to be holy is different than just the word holy. We are called to be like God Himself, to pursue holiness with all our heart, to run hard after God. So there's two meanings of holiness right here. Okay. Um, and when they talk about the heart is pure, your intentions are pure intentions. And we know these people do not have pure intentions. Okay. And they're not pure at heart. Okay. This is far from being pure at heart or far from being Christian like. Okay. What we're actually seeing. All right, you guys. All right. Comment below on your thoughts of what I just was talking about in the dream, the crazy dream I just had. All right. So I'm going to call my daughter and tell her about my dream, my oldest daughter. Okay. Because I tell her about all my dreams. All right, you guys. All right. Bye.